Excuse me for taking a little while there. I don't move as fast as I used to. First, I need to tell you that I was not Wimpy's first choice to speak at this service. Wimpy and Johnny Milwaukee were lifelong best buds who actually made a pact to speak at each other's services. As smart as those two were, it didn't dawn on them that only one of them would be able to fulfill that promise. I thought the world of both of them, so I'm honored to be Johnny's sub today. Over the last 50 years, I have been privileged to get to know Wimpy through shared experiences and many conversations usually held over food and drink. Wimpy used very colorful language, both in his writing and in his speech. And I think he would have some well-chosen, colorful words for me if I made this too serious. But I would at least like to start with what I think was Wimpy's most important trait. Wimpy loved and respected his wife, Margaret. He could be very flippant about many things, but I never heard him refer to Margaret with anything but deep love and respect. Even though dementia stole the Margaret that he knew and loved, he remained a devoted husband to the end. Now to lighter moments. I learned of his love for food and drink, especially drink, early in our relationship, when we were both helping with Brother Edwin's state senate campaign. And this was the first run for a state office by a Japanese American. Nobody had any experience in running a campaign. So we hired an experienced grassroots political advisor by the name of Mr. Mack. Mr. Mack gathered us all together to reveal the secrets of a winning campaign. All being rookies, we were paying rapt attention as he reached into his coat and pulled out an egg beater and explained to us that this is what you use to mix the paste. You put up the posters so that they would be smooth and wouldn't fall down. Well, again, we believed all this being rookies. As time went on, however, we learned that that was the peak of his political knowledge, and also that he had a problem with alcohol. Wimpy finally had enough, and I don't know if any of you remember this campaign, but the campaign headquarters, and I can't even remember the name of the restaurant anymore, it was in the second floor on 2nd Street in a restaurant that had a bar. So most of the meaningful meetings were held right at the bar. So here's Wimpy sitting on the bar stool on the end, barely being able to hang on himself, and declares to anyone who will listen, "We gotta fire that effing drunk." Always eloquently speaking his mind. I'm going to fast forward through some 70 years, partially because Jeff already covered most of the history, but also because I have CRS and can't remember that many details anyway. And I'm going to start with a number, 22. Anybody out there know what 22 means today? Wimpy loved to count the pages of the Los Angeles Times. And I picked up the Times this morning, knowing I had to get here early, and actually had time to read it. There were only 22 pages in the entire paper. The venerable LA Times, bastion of journalistic excellence in Los Angeles. The organization that refused to even give Wimpy an employment application after his graduation from USC School of Journalism. So I'm not sure if his page counting had more to do with history or with maybe getting the satisfaction of knowing that he probably penned 22 pages at the peak of the crossroads in a week, maybe not in a day. Wimpy was very proud of starting and operating the newspaper Crossroads, and partially because maybe he couldn't get a job at places like the LA Times. What could be more suited for a journalism major who cared so deeply about his community and had the talent to write about key issues, both past and present. He really enjoyed managing the Yamamoto's restaurant in Newport Beach, an opportunity to share his love of food, drink, and hospitality with an audience who at the time was not familiar with Japanese food. He also got to work with Johnny's son, who was an excellent bartender. I understand Hakugen patrons came from miles around just to see two Japanese guys named Wimpy and Gino. The Japanese American community had a dinner in his honor for his accomplishments at the Gardena JCI, for his concepts and leadership provided the community, where concepts and leadership provided housing and a community center for the J community in the South Bay. The JCI property straddled both Gardena and Torrance. And ever politically astute, Wimpy's comment to either city's officials when they visited was, "I've got one foot in heaven." A collector's item featured in the program for that dinner was a reprint of Paul Conrad's political cartoon of Richard Nixon writing his enemies list. And you can see that out in the lobby. I believe Conrad himself modified the cartoon for the programs so that the ever-growing list only had one name that was legible: Wimpy Hiroto. Wimpy took great pride in that. Someone said a person is known by the friends he keeps. A mutual friend of ours said he's known even more by the enemies that he keeps. And Wimpy was proud of that enemy. He truly loved writing again for his Crossroads of Somewhere column in the Raw Food. In addition to telling stories, even ghost stories, I think he helped present Nisei values to the Sun City and younger generations. It was a blessing to see his passion burning brightly, his passion for journalism burning brightly, even up to his final days. Wimpy, you've lived life well. I picture you together with Edwin and Donald discussing the issues of the day, and you and Johnny picking winners at the great racetrack in the sky. And best of all, you are together again with your beloved Margaret. Come by, Wimpy. I will miss you.